In this video, we will see how to manage invoice approval in Purchase Inbox. You can see that I have a company, demo company, of course. I Purchase a Lot Limited. I've changed the email so that the default email for Purchase Inbox is purchasealot@inbox.purchaseinbox.com. I have two users. I am info@purchaseinbox.com. As you can see, I'm accountant, so I shouldn't be able to approve any invoice. But for your information, I haven't disabled it, so I can still approve invoices. So make sure that you disable approving invoices role for every user that cannot approve invoices. This can be done when you double click over here. It is already telling me that I'm not administrator, and you have to disable this verifier over here. Then this person cannot approve invoices. And also remember that this user cannot be administrator, because then administrator can always change his or her roles on his or her own. Okay, so much about the users. The next thing is that invoice approval is never by default enabled. You have to enable it on your own. You go to configuration and you have to enable it over here. I've already done it. You just have to check this use invoice approval. The second thing that you can do is you can add different rules, saying that, well, if in your company you need to have at least 3 confirmations per invoice, then you can add 3 over here. And if company owner wants to approve every single invoice, then you can select company owner over here also. If that's not necessary, you don't have to enable these rules. The invoice approval can be done in 2 ways. Whether you can log into Purchase Inbox and approve over here, or you can receive an email and approve or reject in email. I've already added a rule that I want this mailinator to get invoice to get email automatically. What does it mean? It means that when a supplier sends an invoice to that Purchase Inbox email, then automatically this mailinator account will receive an email that would you like to approve or reject this invoice. So the person who is the busiest, usually the one who is approving invoices, the company managers, then they can approve invoices once they're waiting on the line, waiting the elevator, or wherever they are doing something that where they can handle their mobile, because email they can read from mobile. Now, what does this order of operations here mean? Is that first is when you receive the invoice, second is when the first is done, and the third is when the second is done. Meaning that if you don't want automatically the invoice to be sent to anywhere, then you don't have to add the first rule. But you can add automatically the second rule and third rule, because the first rule is determining the second and third. This is just an example. Also, you don't have to add it, meaning that you can still log into a Purchase Inbox and approve over here. But I wanna show it, so that's why I've added it. And why we have a project over here is that, let's say you have this kind of structure where you have 3 levels of 3 locations, meaning that these are different, and you need to add different location managers over here, meaning that there is a location like marketing expense. We don't, and this is connected to New York office, and we don't want Chicago office to see this invoice, and we don't want to waste the Chicago office manager time by sending him or her this email. So the first rule here is that the accountant is taking the invoice in and selects the project, saying that it's New York, and then automatically Purchase Inbox sends this email to the second line where we have selected New York project, and we don't waste time Chicago and, for example, Los Angeles office managers' times. And the third rule, for example, can be the company manager when the second line has approved the invoice. At the moment, I don't want to change anything because I have only one approver over here, so I will just close it. Now, I've already prepared an email over here, and I can just send it. Now this email is sent, and now I can search it over here. Why I cannot find it is because when I'm using the invoice approval process, then by default the invoice is coming in with the status of not confirmed. So I can see this over here, and you can see that it's pending, meaning that I want this purchase inbox test to approve this invoice. Let's see how it looks. Now let's go here. I've already made a test before, so that's not the one. And moments ago, this one. And this is how the the email looks like. I made a rule that automatically send to the first line. And in the first line, we don't have any information about the invoice if you haven't added this automatic invoice creating rules. So everything here is not available because I haven't added the invoice, so I cannot see anything over here. But if I've added the invoice, then I could see everything over here, and the company manager can see everything over here also. We have also attached a PDF over here, so the company manager can see from the mobile that, okay, this is connected to that supplier and so on. And if company manager would like to approve it, he or she can click here, and for rejection over here. Let's approve it. You can now see that the saving was successful, meaning that I don't have to do anything else. But what I can do, I can add additional information here saying that this was for car repair. Any kind of like additional information I want to add to this file. So let's save it. And now let's go back here. Let's click search over here, and nothing here because it's not confirmed anymore. This file is confirmed, meaning that here it is in the pending list now because we need to create an invoice from that file. Now you can see everything over here what I did. This is confirmed by this person, purchase inbox test, and this purchase inbox test added a comment. This was for car repair. So I can still see all this information when I'm creating this invoice. And when you remember I mentioned before that I was accountant as a user, but the administrator had not removed option to approve invoice from me. This is specifically done in this demo because I want to show how to approve or reject invoice also in purchase inbox. You can see that I have reject and confirm buttons over here also, and this would be the buttons that I would be using when I'm doing the process inside purchase inbox, not in the email. And also I can ask confirmation over here, meaning I do something and I can manually ask confirmation. This is necessary when you are not setting up the automatic rules that I had done. And for the last, I will click create invoice, and what you can see is that it is also adding this information that this Mailinator account added. This was for car repair. So you can still see this later on. You don't have to manually add it over here. Also, let's now create this invoice. Legal consulting agency. These fields are empty because I've never added this legal consulting agency before. And actually, for your information, this PDF parser that parsed this consultation over here doesn't like when you are adding two old invoices. That's why these fields are empty. Okay. And now, when I've saved it, then I can go back to this and show you. Take purchase invoices. And I can show you that I can see the invoice approvals inside the invoice also. I just have to click other and invoice approval, and it is showing me that who has approved the invoice. And this is also showing that this was sent to purchase inbox test. This Mailinator account confirmed and opened it, meaning that the email was confirmed and opened. and then this person confirmed inside the email. And as I have also a user right to approve invoices, then while creating invoice, it added also me as approver over here. Okay, this is quite much about it. This is a lot of information, but this is like everything that we cover with the invoice approval was mentioned. If you have any questions, just let us know at support@purchaseinbox.com, and I thank you for watching.